Hey everybody, Brendon Burchard, founder of Experts Academy. Welcome back to another training video on how you can become a highly paid expert as an author, a speaker, a coach, seminar leader, or online marketer. And first and foremost, thanks for the amazing comments from my last video. I think it's kind of struck a chord that finally someone's actually looking to you and talking to you as I'm training you. You know, all these whiz-bang amazing videos that's been kicked out in this last year. Sometimes you don't even know who you're buying stuff from. You know, you don't even see their face. So I thought, let's just talk to people and let's just train people. So come back into Expert Studio where I can show you some more cool stuff about how do you get your message out there and get paid for it, right? Because that's what it's all about. But I also wanted to give you a recap of what we covered in the last video in case you missed it or in case you forgot, because I want you to be tuned in on what it really takes to build an expert empire. What do you really need to do? So yeah, the other day when we sent out the first video, we were talking about, well, how do you position yourself as an expert? So if you're gonna get paid for this and you're gonna help so many people with your information, how do you actually do it? Well, we talked about your three roles as an expert. You're a researcher and reporter, going out into the marketplace, seeing what's best practice, seeing what works. You get results. Of course, if you're going to be an expert, get results in the area you're teaching other people on, and of course, be a role model the entire time. Let's lead this industry with a new level of integrity and transparency. It's part of the reason I just wanted to talk to you, you know, instead of hiding behind a PowerPoint or some ScreenFlow or Camtasia. Just say, hey, this is who I am and this is what I'd like to teach you and help you out with. And we also talked about 12 different tools and positioning tools that you can use to explain who you are and why you are credible, why people should believe in you, and why they should buy from you. So what I'd love to do is show you what I call the expert roadmap. So you can think about, well, what are all the things that you have to do to build a business? So again, we talked about the two phases, the two work streams. And this is all stuff that we teach at Experts Academy as part of the online program and the live event. We go through all these concepts, so if it's a little fast and furious for you, that's okay. I'll give you an opportunity later on to figure out how do you get in that program. For now, it's been closed down. We sold it out this year, which was amazing. We had 400 people from all around the world, $3,500 to $5,000 a ticket to learn, well, how do you do all this? What's the business like? So let me give you a preview and hopefully a good roadmap for you to think about as you build your own business. What's the first thing you should do? If you're interested in all of this, you want to do books or speeches or products online, membership programs, build a real expert, quote unquote, guru empire, how do you begin? The first thing you better do is you better target your customer, right? You better know who is it you want to reach? Who is it you're really going after? Do you want to help kids? Do you want to help parents? Do you want to help online marketers? Do you want to help authors? Do you want to help speakers? Do you want to help youth? Do you want to help business people? Do you want to help CEOs? Do you want to help women who are out of shape? Do you want to help men who are out of shape? Do you want to help men who are in crisis? Do you want to help people who are changing and transitioning in their career? Who do you want to help? And do you want to target your customer in a way that you know information about them? What frustrates them the most? What are their greatest ambitions? What are they trying to achieve this year? What have they already tried to achieve that didn't work? The more you know about your customer, the more you're really going to be able to serve them. Which is why once you kind of figure out who you want to reach, the second stage, this is my attempt at being Vanna White here, this is you understanding their buying behavior and competition. Meaning, given this customer, what do they usually buy? When they're online and they're looking for information that can change their lives, what types of products and programs do they usually buy? And who else is selling them information and products and programs? Who else is out there? Who are their competitors? You better really understand what drives their behavior and who do you compete with. The more information you know like that, the better. And you can find this stuff online. Just go on to Google and search your competitors, search your topic, see who else is out there. Then from there, you want to determine what are their key value levers? Meaning, what is it that they most value as a consumer? And then you take those value levers, things that create urgency, things that create value for them, things that they look at and go, oh my gosh, that's what I really need to know. When you find those things that they say, that's what I really need to know, that's called a value lever. And you incorporate that into all of your products and programs. So in other words, you're not just making up stuff to say, you're finding out, well, what do they really need and want, and what would they pay the most for? It's a very important question in positioning. What will people pay for? You better know that before you start creating products and programs You want to know, what will they pay for? What motivates the buy? Those are what we call key value levers at Experts Academy. The fourth thing that you want to work on is building a relevant brand, right? What are you going to be called? Very simple, right? What's your brand? Who are you? Who do you help? How do you help them? Those are branding questions. Who are you? Who do you help? And how do you help them that's unique and different and distinct? That's all part of your brand. And then of course, your name is part of your brand. Coming up with the logo and the naming for Experts Academy took me what felt like forever, because I was trying to figure out, well, who are all these people, these authors and speakers and coaches and seminar leaders, online marketers. I didn't like the word gurus at the time. And I thought, you know what they really are is they're experts. They've learned a specific topic, they've learned a specific way of thinking about the world that makes them an expert. So you got to build your relevant brand. And then after you have your brand, you got to start thinking about, well, okay, what should I create for them? What's the product and program or service that I'm going to create that's going to serve them? Now here's where it gets magical. Everybody in the world wants to be an expert. Everyone wants to become a highly paid expert. The challenge is often they've got nothing to sell. See, if you have no package for someone to buy your information on, you'll never make any money on the internet or out in the marketplace in general. You've got to have a product or program or service that delivers value to your customers. The key takeaway here is no product, no program, or no service, you can't get paid. It's the most important thing for experts. You've got to write that book or that ebook. You've got to write the articles and send them out. You've got to create audio programs or DVD programs or workbooks or something that people can get, or online membership programs, or just videos like this that people pay for. But you got to have something to sell. Once you have something to sell, then you can move on, because then you're going to build your infrastructure to operate and sell. What the hell does that mean? Infrastructure just means the stuff that you need to have in place to actually operate your business and sell. This day and age, that means a website. And what the heck do you do on your website? Well, in this video, again, at the end, I'm going to reveal to you my homepage ATM, which is a stellar idea about how to make money online. But what's an infrastructure? Well, if you're going to sell something online, as an example, which everybody has to do these days, that means you got to have a product or service, but then you got to have a website, usually an opt-in page, a sales page, a thank you page. You got to have a shopping cart where people can enter their name and information and give you their credit card. You got to have a merchant account provider where the credit card can be processed and go through and the money ends up in your bank account. You got to have a bank account. You know, all that stuff, that's what you have to have. And a lot of people just never do that. But it's easy. We teach all the resources of everything you need at Experts Academy. It's basic, right? Website, shopping cart, merchant account providers, all of that. Once you do that, that's the basics of the building the business. I always call this work stream 1, because without this, no money, right? But then what generates the money is where it becomes work stream 2, which is you've got to build promotions and partners and affiliates so that you can get your message out there. See, if you got the product, you got the program. I know lots of people who have a nice product. They've got a really good website and they're broke and they wonder why. The reality is they're broke because they're not promoting, right? Your income is directly proportionate to how much and how well you promote your message, your products, and your services, right? And most people are trying to do promotions in, 80s style or 90s style, where they're sending out postcards or brochures instead of really engaging the customer directly via video or audio or even in print. Direct mail still works. The main thing is you have to be actively campaigning your customers. This day and age, it's about relationships. Hopefully I'm building a relationship with you now, even if you never heard of me. I'm trying to add some value to your life. It's part of a campaign for me. You should be doing campaigns that consistently engage and add value to your customers. You do that, this industry is easy. Second part of this work stream is for you to send those promotions, makes sense, and measure the responses. I can't believe how many people don't test their promotions. I can't believe how many people build a great website or great emails, but they never send them out. It's about you actively sending them, actively campaigning, but making sure you're measuring the responses. Does that opt-in page get the highest conversions? Does that sales page make the sales? You need to measure what do people think about your programs and your promotions. Third, you've got to do follow-up promotions. Here's what happens in this industry often. Someone does a big product launch or they sell their new fancy thing and they just sell it and they're done and they disappear from the planet. This day and age, you got to do follow-up. You got to think your customers are always in a campaign one way or another, whether that campaign is just adding value and building a relationship or that campaign is actively selling and asking for money. You've got to be doing follow-up promotions. You get that first sale, you've got to think in this day and age of not just a customer as a one-time buy, but you got to think about the lifetime value of that customer. And that's why you've always got to be planning strategically your follow-up promotions. I always know, what are the promotions that I'm doing in the next 12 months? I know exactly what they are. I draw 12 boxes on a page and I say, what am I promoting? What kind of value am I adding to my customers? That's why my customers on my list stay with me, because I'm always adding value strategically and intelligently, hopefully. Fourth, what do you got to do? Well, next, you got to fulfill with excellence. If you sell something, if you offer something, you've got to fulfill like dinner depended on it. You know what? This industry is easy. If you put good stuff out there and you care about your customers and you fulfill with excellence, meaning you've got good customer service, or if you said you're going to deliver it, you deliver it to them and it looks great, feels great, works great. If you just add value to people and you do it with excellence, this industry is easy. I always say there's only 3 things you got to do with really, really great in this industry. And those 3 things often are, 1, be distinct, be different. 2, be excellent, outshine everybody else. And 3, outserve everyone else. Just give the best of who you are and do it for the right intentions with the right customer service. People will love you forever. 5th, after you fulfill with excellence and you're doing all this and everything's going great, you've got to sell deeper. Sell deeper. What does that mean? Well, at Experts Academy and many marketing programs, once in a while you might hear about the funnel, right? The expert funnel. You're offering things at a way that people can access it. Maybe it's free or maybe it's low dollar amount. But as they go deeper into your funnel, you charge more money. So maybe your book is $20 and maybe you'll offer audio programs for $197 and you do DVD programs for $2,000. Well, now as soon as you get into coaching, that might be $10,000, $25,000. You might do speaking, that might be $25,000, $50,000. The deeper they go, usually the more the customer gets access to you, the more expensive it is. So you need to really build out your marketing funnel so that you have products and programs that continually get expensive. Now people get all worked up about that and go, oh my God, you're charging people lots of money. Yes, you should be too. You got to be thinking about, well, what can I create for them that they get a taste of something and then ultimately they're going to buy more of because you've added the value and proven your worth. And then ultimately, in this industry, you end up selling broader. Selling broader. What does that mean? Well, if selling deeper is on one topic, you drill deep in terms of products and programs and services. Selling broader means now you start adding more topics to your business. You know, I started with Life's Golden Ticket motivational seminars. And that was one topic, and I went way deep with that, with audio programs, DVDs, seminars, coaching, boom, deep. Then I added on to that partnership seminar where I teach you how to get your message promoted and sponsored by major organizations. And I went deep with that. And then I added another element to it with Experts Academy. That's another one. So I'm going more and more broad. And ultimately, all experts, if you start in a niche, and you get really successful at it, every expert ultimately broadens to lifestyle. So now I also teach High Performance Academy. That's where we teach you how to improve your life by mastering your psychology, your physiology, your productivity, and your persuasion. So that's an example of what you will be doing in this business. And none of this, by the way, is overnight riches. I'm not a get-rich-quick guy. I'm into building an empire. I'm still actively doing all of these things. I'm strategically thinking about them. Why? Because in this industry, I want 3 things. I want impact, I want influence, and I want income. And so I'm working my butt off in each of these areas to grow a brand and a business that will be here in 10 years because I want to serve people, and so do you.